Hello friends, the topic for today is sensory memory. Okay, let's start. We receive information from the environment with the help of our sense organs, correct? It's very simple. Now tell me who is responsible or what is responsible for getting that information from the senses to the brain. Now the answer is sensory memory. Sensory memory is responsible for this task because we receive tremendous amount of information throughout our life. We are constantly taking information. For example, when you're walking on the road, you come across lots of sights, lots of sounds, etc. Can we take this much amount of information? No, it is impossible. It is impossible to remember each and every detail. So sensory memory creates something of a quick snapshot of the world around you, allowing you to briefly focus your attention on relevant details. So here are the characteristics of a sensory memory. Sensory memory, it is a snapshot of person's overall sensory experience. This is very important. It absorbs a tremendous amount of environmental information. I have already explained, like when you're walking on the road, you come across lots of sights, lots of sounds, etc. It provides our brain with a lot of details. Now it's very important, these details, like when you come across any object, you take into consideration its size, its color, its shape. Likewise, when you hear sound, you take into account its pitch, its tone, its loudness. That's why we are saying that it provides our brains with a lot of details. Now it is an automatic response. It is beyond your cognitive control. You have to take it. And there is absolutely no manipulation of incoming information. You have to take the information in its original form. You cannot change the information, you cannot manipulate it. And it is shortest retention time, ranging from mere milliseconds to 5 seconds. It's simple. So this is what we mean by sensory memory. Okay. Now it has two types. One is iconic and other is echoic. Let's study what is iconic memory. Iconic. Okay. Example. You all have iPads, you all have computer screens, you all have laptop screens, you work on it. So when you see the pictures on that screen, that small pictures is your icons. From this, the word is iconic memory. The mental representations of visual stimuli are referred to as icons. Now, iconic memory, it is visual memory. It is your visual memory. It is picture based, how things look like. Okay. They are short-term visual memories people store when seeing something very briefly. It creates pictures in the mind. It lasts for milliseconds and it fades away very quickly. Okay. Now this experiment, George Sperling experiment, was very famous during the years 1960. So what he said, this particular experiment was conducted to study the duration of sensory memory. Okay, it started during 1960. So in these participants, they stared at a string of letters arranged in a row. They use a device called tachistoscope. They use a device that is called tachistoscope. So what happened? They stared at a string of letters arranged in a row. The letters, there were 4 letters per row. So it means so there were total 12 letters. They were flashed for a very brief period of time, that is by 1/20th of a second, less than 1 second, less than 1 second. Then the screen went black and the participants, and immediately they were asked to recall as many of the letters as they could remember seeing. Now what happened was, the result was that most of the participants, they were able to recall 4 or 5 letters only. They reported that they had seen all of them, but they just could not report them. It seems that human beings are limited to processing just few images at a time. So another version of this experiment was given by George Sperling. Everything remained the same. So what he did, after the screen went black, participants heard either high-pitched tone, medium or low-pitched tone. If subjects hear a high tone, they were to report the top row. If medium, then middle row. If low, then bottom row. So the result was that the participants were able to recall most of the letters, more than 3 letters per row. So in all 9 to 10 letters. So the most important thing to understand is participants were able to recall the letters as long as the tone was sounded within 1/3 of a second of the letter display. It means the important thing to understand is there should not be much interval between the recall and the display. When the interval was extended to 1/3 of a second, the accuracy of the letter reports declined significantly. So they could recall a given row on 75% of trials, suggesting that 75% of the entire visual display was accessible to them. Since the participants were focusing, that's very important, since the participants were focusing their attention on the indicated row before their visual memory faded, they were able to recall the information. So there is a dramatic increase in the hypothesized capacity of iconic memory derived from whole or full report trials. So this was iconic memory. Okay, the term was given by Nasser in 1967. It's very important. Okay, hope you understand. Next is echoic memory. Now echoic memory. Okay, let's study with the help of an example. You must have gone to witness lots of these valleys and gorge and these kind of things. So when you stand at the edge or corners of a valley and scream or yell at the highest volume possible, it echoes back to you. That is your echoic memory. So it is your auditory. So it is this is your this is used by your auditory systems. Okay, it takes into account sounds. In iconic, we used to that was picture based and it is sound based. It is capable of holding large amount of auditory information and it lasts for 3 to 4 seconds. So it takes into account sound that you have just encountered, and it is this echoic memory is unique. Why? Because you only hear something once. For example, when we are listening to someone as he is delivering speech, a person he is delivering speech, we cannot re-listen or we cannot rescan a sentence a person has already said. That's why in this way it is unique, and it is different from iconic memory, because iconic memory is shorter. It lasts for less than half a second, but this echoic memory is longer than echoic memory, because these images and sounds are processed in different ways. When we look at an image, we can see it again and again. We can rescan, or if we are reading a page from a book, we can read it multiple times. In iconic memory, visual information does not immediately disappear, but this is not the case with echoic memory. Sorry, it is not the case with echoic memory. Sounds they cannot be replayed. There is only one chance to hear sound. So echoic memory is longer because sound is processed by individual in bits of information. Brain needs more time to store audio information because we need to take into consideration every bit of information, as every bit gives meaning to the next bit or then sound. Only then we will be able to understand, we are able to understand or infer meaning to what others are saying. It also makes adaptive sense because we need communication, we need conversation for survival. So auditory echoic memories helps us to replay back what others are saying. So they stay for longer because we actually need echoic memory. We need that recording device. So this is the basic difference between iconic and echoic memory. Iconic is picture based, echoic is sound based. Okay, this is what we mean by sensory memory and its types. Thank you, students.